This morning on a special edition of The Dish, we turn to an historic gem in our own backyard, the Lambs Club, where we meet executive chef and partner Jack Logue.
We get a taste of his cooking and a look at his latest project in the heart of Times Square, New York City's first ever wine window.
Why don't you kind of give us an idea of what we have at the table?
Absolutely. So we're going to start off with some fun small bites. They're sort of riffs on childhood memories. Here we have a everything bagel spice smoked salmon roll. I'm a big bagel and lox guy, so that's just bagel and lox in a tiny bite. Then this is a foie gras peanut butter and jelly. You know, all kids I think grew up with some form of peanut butter and jelly.
Not foie gras.
Not foie gras. So it's foie gras with peanut butter and jelly.
Correct. So we make a foie gras mousse, and then we make our own little Concord grape jelly, and then we have some shaved peanut on top to give it that peanut element flavor. One of my favorite things as a kid was any fried potato, but tater tots specifically.
Yeah.
You know, I love tater tots, so we make our own duck fat tater tots, and we top it with some spicy tuna, a little pickled Fresno chili for some added heat. So it's a spicy tuna tot. And then, who didn't love churros when they were a kid either, right? So here we have a potato churro with caviar and creme fraiche. So some classic pairings, but with a little nuanced twist.
Which one first?
I'll take that one first.
Absolutely.
And the bagel.
I mean, I'm doing them all.
Yeah.
But you have to eat with us too,
Yes,
Jack.
you must.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The bagel, it's like a little bagel bite.
Just something to make you think.
Yeah.
And what else here?
In front of me, we have a fun dish. Tuna tartare with a little avocado mousse on the bottom, some purple ninja radishes for some texture and a little bite, and then a yuzu ponzu sauce that sort of ties everything in. This one over here, the white asparagus, here we're serving it with a little tarragon yogurt, a mandarin emulsion, and then a little pickled mandarin on top.
The citrus with it is incredible.
For me, acidity is very important as a component to a lot of food. It helps prevent it from feeling very rich, and it enhances salt and enhances spice.
What was it as a kid? Did you love food? What sort of enticed you?
Food was always something that I associated with being around big groups of people, love, family, and then finally I think I was 16, so probably sophomore, junior of high school, me and my friend, his mother owned a few restaurants, and one of them was closed for lunch, and so we thought we were pretty good at making panini sandwiches. You know, we would make them for ourselves and we had them.
That's a thing.
And so we were like, well, what if we just sell these and that's our summer job?
Outside the restaurant.
Outside the restaurant during the lunch hours when they were closed. So we pitched her and her business partner, who was his godfather. And
So I couldn't say no.
Yeah, right.
I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Exactly. Well, what they did say was, okay, well, show us a costing sheet of how you're going to, do this business,
Wow.
and then also do a tasting for us. So we
Yeah.
did those things. And so we were out there every day unless it was raining. So rain would be days off. And that was our business for first summer.
Okay, we're gonna go table 36.
Why the Lambs Club?
That's a great question. Some of it's fortuitous. Lambs Club was sort of on my radar for a few years. Fell in love with the property, fell in love with the space. This was actually an honor to be a part of what the original Lambs Club was from Charles Lamb.
Because it was a club.
It was
Private
a club.
for thespians.
It started out as a place where the actors and actresses who were entertaining the world on Broadway could come and be entertained themselves.
Well, it's something that you're doing now with these foods, and I'm sort of going to say we need
to get around to the rest of it.
We can do that, here.
So these are scallops with...
So this is a scallops with a little bacon potato leek, and that's a clam chowder broth that we just poured on there.
Oh, wow.
So this
Dig in, DJ.
This dish has a little bit of a personal story to me because when I was a kid, and both my mother and my grandmother would always make some clam chowder on like the coldest day, like the snow blizzard days or like the blizzard of '96 or something like that.
Right.
And so for me, that always will remind me of something that made me feel warm inside, made me feel taken care of even, made me feel loved if you really wanted to go that far. And so when we were kind of opening this restaurant as ours, with myself and Chris Miller, who's my business partner here, and this dish sort of came to mind as something that would have some meaning, to bring it out, bring out those same exact flavors, but just present it in a little bit more of a nuanced way.
What you mentioned your partner, Chris, in launching something like this with someone, instead of it just being you out there on your own. How nice was that? Oh,
it's amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way, without question. It's so great to have somebody to be in this with, and also to have somebody who understands what you're going through. We're building Bruschetta del Vino NYC. Building that has been one of the wildest rides I've ever encountered and experienced, building something in the middle of Times Square on shipping containers that
Not
come
just
from-
something.
Yeah.
A wine window
yeah,
in
like-
the middle of Times Square.
we're building a mini castle, but
What is the history about a wine window?
yeah, I think it was about the 1500s. They were actually utilized specifically for the plague, not just for wine, but also to give out vinegar and other ailments without contact. But even more so than that, there's a lot of history regarding old Florentine wealth, building them into their castles or building them into their large properties as a way that they could, share their wine with passersby or sell the wine from their cellars, directly from the cellar. That's sort of where the idea somewhat sparked. Was Chris had been on his honeymoon, he had experienced this thing, and he's like, walking by the area over there, and it's like, what about like a wine window? And it's just sort of, we both just ran with it, and it was like, yes, that's what we're gonna do. And there was never a moment of doubt after that that was what we were gonna do. It was just, how do we do it now? Like, how do we figure out how to do that?
Can we go take a look?
I think we need to go.
I think we need to go.
I think so. That would be great.
Let's go.
And here we are.
Little taste of Florence
Little taste
in
of
Times
Florence,
Square.
yeah.
I'll take a glass, please, of your best white or red. Thank you.
And I'll take a glass too of your best white. I'm particular.
Yes, you are. When all is said and done, what does this look like? A little
This
more
becomes an Italian piazza. Cypress trees, wine barrels, 6 tables with chairs as well. It'll feel like you're in the middle of Florentine summer.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah. And then for us to do it in Times Square, we wanted to bring something to the area that was going to actually bring it a little bit more life, a little bit more fun, a little
You're
bit
classing
more
up the
excitement.
joint.
I didn't want to say it that way, but cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Hopefully we're classing up the joint. And Tibuchetta del Vino NYC.
Cheers.
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 Oh, you left me hanging. Cheers.
Cheers to you, boo-boo.
It was so much fun to spend time with Jack and Chris, too. And it's really beautiful what they've created.
It really is. And I think once people find out about it, all those tourists are going to flock because it really is an opportunity for people. This glass is, I don't know if it's loose cider, but this is what they serve
feels
it in.
real.
It feels very
And then
regal.
around the corner at the Lambs Club, they've brought such energy to this institution that's been around and just revitalized it in a
It really
beautiful way. The
has.
food was just spectacular.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was so nice to share it with
I
you.
know,
It was
you too.
our dinner date.
We have got to go back.
Yeah.